Hello, welcome to this business briefing on GroverDB. GroverDB is a new kind of data application designed for the citizen developer in the enterprise. For this business briefing, we'll first set the stage looking at current IT challenges. Then we'll take a high-level look at GroverDB and examine why your business should consider GroverDB. Each year, CIO Magazine takes a survey of the most critical IT challenges. We'll come back to this list later and see how GroverDB addresses the top CIO concerns. To flesh out some of these challenges, IT departments have seen explosive growth in the scope and complexity of data. Custom data application development is risky, and over half of all projects fail. Even if you spend millions of dollars on best-of-breed software, it doesn't guarantee success. Data security is on everyone's mind, especially the hackers. A study by Cisco found that the use of shadow IT to store critical data was 15 times more prevalent than the IT departments estimated. And where there's shadow IT, there are data silos. Studies prove that data silos are not only more common than we think, but they also decrease business economic performance by 44%. What's more, shadow IT is one of the leading causes of insider data threats. A truism in computing is that complexity breeds complexity. While relational database design is proven, it creates solutions that are complex, rigid, and expensive to both initially design and modify later. Jeff Bezos has also come to the same conclusion about the complexity of relational databases. No SQL databases try to address the problem of relational complexity, but they really only abandon structure and they don't innovate enough to solve the root problem. While we're facing all these challenges as IT professionals, our businesses require that we be even more agile and more able to adapt to change, because the pace of change will never again be this slow. So what is GroverDB? It's an enterprise-grade data application platform that's cloud-based, no-code, easy to configure, and easy to use. While GroverDB could be used as a back-end database engine, it includes the front-end user interface and the design surfaces, which makes it more of a customizable data application than just a database. What makes GroverDB different is that it's based on an entirely new database architecture that is designed for the citizen developer, storing multiple types of data, optimizing the data for AI, and lockdown for security. These 4 features are baked into the core. They're not just tacked on with front-end code. First, being a no-code data application platform means that the database owners and design admins can flip back and forth between design view and user view. They can make changes and see the results instantly without writing programming code. Second, GroverDB is based on a multimodal database engine, meaning that it can store multiple types of data. GroverDB replaces the need for additional database products. As an object database, GroverDB stores everything, every noun, person, place, thing, event, project, idea, as objects, organized by user-design types. As a graph database, GroverDB works with nodes and connections similar to a massive mind map, similar to Neo4j. As a relational database, developers can access the data in GroverDB using normal SQL programming for data migration, building additional systems, interfaces, reports, or data analysis. GroverDB includes data warehousing and BI analysis. Tasks and conversations can be applied to objects, making GroverDB a business collaborative tool. Documents can be attached to objects similar to MongoDB or SharePoint. And lastly, GroverDB tracks the statuses as objects move through their lifecycle, similar to a temporal database. It's this multimodal nature of GroverDB that gives it the flexibility to replace data silos. Third, the data model is perfectly primed for AI and machine learning. That's important because preparing the data is 80% of AI programming. The fourth database core feature is perhaps the most critical: security. GroverDB exceeds normal security standards by employing every possible Amazon AWS and Microsoft SQL Server security layer, using the highest level of data encryption both in flight and at rest, and building our own granular user data permission system deep in the database code. Our founder was a data system tech in the U.S. Navy, and his obsession with data security shows. To summarize, the database engine that powers GroverDB is a unique hybrid of SQL and NoSQL that makes true no-code possible. Turning our attention to the user experience, the web application is designed around common data tasks. Here are a few highlights. Quick Search lets the user search the entire database using a smart relative search. Users can browse the objects based on a hierarchy of types, using the Sunburst view or the outline, and filter the results by status and more. Anywhere the user sees an object name, they can click and open the object. Here, the user can change the types and statuses, edit data, see connections, add documents, tasks, and conversations, and check the audit log. In the Connection Viewer, users can navigate, create, and edit the fluid connections between objects. The main filter on the left not only drives the browse, it also filters the other tabs such as the BI charts. The user-defined filter uses the basic building blocks of GroverDB such as types, statuses, and connections, so it's both intuitive and powerful. Once the filter is created, users can leverage that filter back in the Browse Objects tab. Switching to Design View lets owners and design admins set up object types, lifecycle statuses, connection types, data fields, and workflows, all without code. GroverDB's ability to track multiple types of objects with multiple types of connections lets it make connections across multiple functional areas of the company. In this example, some of the data would traditionally be stored in a CRM, sales tool, production software, an HRIS system, some way to track R&D and intellectual property, and probably several other data silos. Using GroverDB, you can visually see that this customer purchased this product that was made on this machine by this employee using this raw material, supplied by this vendor, according to this product specification, that's protected by this patent, that was invented by this employee. It's this ability to map any type of connection between any type of object that makes GroverDB so flexible and gives you a 360-degree view of your company. Using GroverDB, you can configure it to track anything you want on a common platform. And no matter what you're tracking, you'll have the advanced systems and productivity tools right alongside your data. To make the process even easier, we're building out templates to give you a jump start on your own configurations. Of course, you always want to use the best tool for the job. No software can meet every need. Some tools work well for very simple tasks. An example would be a spreadsheet app or a database that can be built with a few tables in MySQL. At the other end of the spectrum, some tools are specially designed for the complex but niche applications such as payroll, ERP systems, or the astrophysics calculations for satellite orbits. However, for the vast majority of data applications, GroverDB hits the sweet spot for tracking multiple types of data with complex status flows and complex connections. And it's great at the bread-and-butter database tasks of store, retrieve, and search. And for the astrophysicist, GroverDB would be perfect for tracking the satellite's projects, payloads, parts, vendors, contracts, patents, employees, and tasks. With all the software options available, why should your company consider using GroverDB? There are several good reasons to select GroverDB, but a good place to start is looking at the result of compressing the development time from months down to days. The cost savings and risk reduction are obvious, but the real benefit is that when users can see right away the results of the design, that feedback loop is so tight the quality of the software improves dramatically. And when users help design the software, the names of the object types, statuses, and types of connections are consistent with whatever terms are native to your company, and this lets users feel right at home. Not only are the terms familiar, but the data tasks are consistent across every object type and connection type, which lowers training costs, eases cross-training, and lowers user frustration. There's always a good ROI to a good user experience. To summarize the business benefits, cleaner data that's easy to search and visualize lowers staff frustration. The 360-degree view of data and the several integrated data analysis tools enhance business insights. The data inside of GroverDB is already organized by type, status, time, and other dimensions, so in a sense, it's pre-configured to be the perfect data warehouse for data analysis. You've heard of garbage in, garbage out, right? GroverDB has a consistent UI with good data checks, as well as tools to help identify anomalous or erroneous data. All these features are focused on one goal, enabling your team to increase business productivity. GroverDB is a win for the IT profession. Using GroverDB will lower the overall software cost by reducing development and training costs, eliminating expensive data silos, reducing data server costs, and we've already seen it can reduce development time dramatically. GroverDB security is handled by experts while permissions are user configurable and every data change and view is audited for compliance. The innovations of GroverDB are implemented inside Microsoft SQL Server, which leverages the best query optimizer and indexing system on the planet. And this lets the IT staff access their company data using tools they already know and use on a daily basis. This is important not only for data operations, but to mitigate risk. You can always get to your data even if something happens to us as a small company. All of these features are designed to help IT departments reduce their backlog and be the partners their businesses need them to be. So, let's circle back around and see how GroverDB addresses the CIO survey. As a no-code development platform, that knocks out a lot of these issues. GroverDB's emphasis on security also matches up well with the CIO concerns. The consistent user experience is great for reducing user training and supports a digitally native workforce. IT developers can access the company data using normal SQL. With GroverDB, the data is ready for AI and machine learning. Rules-based data quality monitoring is built into the engine. GroverDB is designed as an enterprise-grade data application. And that sets up the company for digital transformation and business results. And that's how you rebuild trust. Did we have some kind of digital crystal ball that lets us predict years in advance the top CIO concerns so that we could build the exact product that meets those concerns? Of course not. The goal was to solve the complexity of how databases were designed, and solving that root problem addresses all these other concerns. And that's why you should use GroverDB. If you'd like to know more detail on GroverDB or see it in action, contact our founder, Paul Nielsen. Thanks for watching.